Hi, it's Fitz with Slap Chop. You're gonna be in a great mood all day because you're gonna be slapping your troubles away with the Slap Chop. Now look, here's a potato. One slap, you got big chunks for stews. Two slaps, home fries in a second. And look at this, when you add a mushroom, the more you do it, the finer it gets.
Bakes better than he spells.
He does.
Please clap.
Very good.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
Careful.
What happened?
Oh, where'd you come from?
Painkiller. She's all right. Come on, under her arm.
Well, how?
Pushed it right up against a pot.
You did this on purpose?
I was like, here we go, and then I fucking went.
What? Why?
No one saw it. I was on my own. And I took it off, and it was all red and melty and gross. You know what it smelled like?
Pork.
And the Oscar goes to...
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 And the Oscar goes to Seth's birthday cake to fucking Ellie, because it's the only thing in this TV series that plays a role convincingly.
But, does anyone talk to you about the birds and the bees?
Oh, you mean dicks and vaginas? Sorry to us. You don't own anything. I'm sorry that I got a tattoo and smoked weed and fooled around with a girl. Except I'm not.
Oh, what the fuck?
Dig in. Go back to Jackson.
No.
Ellie, it's not safe. Go back.
I'm not your fucking kid, Joel. I'm your partner. We stick together.
Wait, what the fuck was that? Did you guys catch that?
Enhance 34 to 46.
Hottie dog shit. Neil Cuckman, The Chopped of Us, Season 2, Episode 6. Let's talk about it. But before we do, make sure to finger blast that like and subscribe button, okay? But before you even do that, and if you just got back from watching Episode 6, please, for the love of God, clean your fucking fingernails. Please cleanse yourself in an hour-long shower after being subjected to that fucking fecal shit typhoon. My like and subscribe buttons will thank you. So this episode lives up to its name. It's called The Price. And let me tell you, after watching this fucking episode, you will be paying a price. The price of all prices. Cause holy fuck, if you liked the ending scene at the end of The Last of Us Part 2 when Ellie and Joel try to make amends and try to reconcile with each other on that porch after the party, if you liked that scene, it is completely and utterly fucked in this episode. And I mean it. Seriously. I don't even know where to begin with the scene. For one, it is incorrectly placed. It should not be in the first half of the second season of this TV series. Secondly, they chose to combine the flashback in the game where Ellie confronts Joel about the truth at the hospital with the porch scene in this episode. Two scenes that are completely different tonally and are more emotionally effective while they're separate, where the placement of the porch scene at the end of The Last of Us Part 2 was emotionally impactful due to it being at the tail end of the cycle of this vicious, dreadful cycle of revenge, where Ellie finally learns to accept herself and Joel's actions and tries to find inner peace. It has the placement of this scene at the end of the game has thematic utility where it accentuates the themes in the game and tries to wrap the themes up in a way that was bittersweet. Say what you want about The Last of Us Part 2, but you cannot tell me that scene didn't fucking hit for a reason. And on top of that, Joel and Bella Ramsey just say their motivations their thoughts, their reasons out loud. There's no show but don't tell in this fucking scene. Everything is explicitly said to the viewer. No subtlety, no nuance, nothing. They basically ham-fist a particular emotion and they try to forcefully make you feel a certain way. Moreover, the contrast between Joel and Bella Ramsey's acting in this fucking scene is just unbelievable. The juxtaposition is real and it is so shocking. And on top of that, Joel capitulates and kowtows to this idea that the cure was a for sure thing that was going to fucking happen. That he himself stood in between the way of humanity's doom and humanity's utopic vision. The problem with this cure has been lamented and talked about ad nauseum, like, where do you get the resources and the means to distribute this fucking vaccine? As a terrorist organization loosely scattered in the wasteland, like, where do you get the brain and the research power to do such an unfathomable undertaking? Like, it takes entire years of international teams, of years of international cooperation to develop vaccines in the modern world. Like, how would they even begin to do this? It makes no fucking sense. Vaccines, mind you, that are way, way, way less complex than a fucking fungal vaccine. Yeah, Joel just basically gets fucking whipped around and fucking contorted like a fucking puppet by Bella Ramsey in this fucking scene. No backbone, no spine, no logical reasoning, just complete and utter capitulation. Hey guys, did you know that in Neil Druckmann's past, he actually suffered a traumatic head injury where he got his fucking head caved in and bludgeoned in by a fucking golf club so much that it permanently caused a permanent fucking dent in his fucking head? Does that sound familiar to anyone? Anyone? Does this sound familiar? Likewise, did you know that after seeing The Rise of Skywalker, Neil Druckmann was gobsmacked by how good it was and how it perfectly encaptured the essence of the original trilogy? Yeah. Keep that neatly tucked in your fucking dent in your head if you have one, while you're watching The Last of Us Part 2 Season 2, or whether or not you're playing the Last of Us Part 2 video game, because this guy, Neil Druckmann's sense of essence, continuity, is, needless to say, fucked. Gee, no wonder why the guy thinks The Last of Us Part 1 and Last of Us Part 2 are continuations of the same fucking game. Now listen, I'm not trying to insinuate that there may be a pathological reason as to why The Last of Us Part 2 and its TV show is as bad as they are. I don't want to poison the well with Neil Druckmann's perceived or actual disabilities, but I'm just saying, you know, there might just be an underlying medical cause here. Perhaps Neil Druckmann didn't create The Last of Us Part 2 and its TV show in a vacuum. It wasn't just his baby, it was also the dent of his head. The dent in his head's baby too. It was Neil Druckmann and his fucking dent. Okay, that's the reason why The Last of Us Part 2 is really bad. And Joel, throughout this entire episode, is just relentlessly bitched around, slapped left and right, chastised and scrutinized for constantly doing the most correct, logically sane thing possible.
You don't own anything.
Say goodnight to Uncle Grumpy.
Good night, Uncle Grumpy. What I'm trying to say is, Uncle Grumpy is family.
This entire episode portrays Joel as a grumpy, dejected curmudgeon that is actively malevolent, duplicitous, and just all around a person of ill moral repute. Similarly, Ellie is portrayed throughout this entire series and this episode as a fucking bumbling, bumblefuck retard. A very stark comparison to Ellie in The Last of Us video games. Just another stark comparison to compound and build upon the already fucking Mount Everest of stark comparisons. But you know, Ellie isn't all that retarded because you might just find her being a mini Socrates, going down the Socratic method, questioning all of Joel's internal contradictions on paper, reciting them.
If the Fireflies spotted us a mile from the hospital, how did they get surprised by an entire group of raiders? 2. If the raiders could kill all those soldiers, and Marlene, and you had to carry me the whole time, how did we get away? 3. If there are dozens of immune people, why hasn't anyone heard of
And yet she doesn't employ the Socratic method to question the veracity of the Fireflies' cure. Yeah, I think she's still retarded. Gotta love selective logical inquiry. So you know that old, annoying, just crass and brash, just rash, one-note, sarcastic, unlikable therapist in the first episode? You know, that annoying, conceited wine mom hag where she alluded to Joel killing her husband, where she renounced Joel's state of mind and moral character? Well, as it turns out, Joel found her husband in the middle of nowhere with a bite mark, actively undergoing zombification, and when asked by the therapist's husband to see his wife, he was like, no, that's probably not a good idea. We shouldn't take a ticking zombie time bomb back to our zombie-free settlement with patrols, gates, and harsh protocols, where it's already condemned to do such a thing to begin with. Because logically, if everyone started bringing their fucking infected relatives into the settlement, if their relatives got infected, if everyone started doing what he and Ellie suggested them to do, there would be no settlement. There would be no settlement. Okay, that's called a code of conduct. And apparently this logical pragmatism is there to make me hate Joel, because he ends up lying to Ellie and ends up killing Guy anyways, which again is they're they're trying their hardest to make him unlikable. But even under this instance, I still agree with him, because he gave him a brilliant view, a brilliant mental image of him seeing his wife, and he ended him within nanoseconds, and it was probably a peaceful and blissful, unaware death. Joel did nothing fucking wrong. And once again, Bella Ramsey's beautiful range of acting is put onto display.
It's the right thing to do. Ellie. I had no choice.
Yeah, did you also know that tears form perfect spherical globules at the middle of your fucking eye when you're crying? Isn't that crazy? You know what else will elicit spherical globule tears in the middle of your eyelid? Joel being a good parent.
Joel, what the fuck?
Exactly, what the fuck?
Whoa, wait. What are you even doing here? You're supposed to be on patrol.
I came home early to surprise you for your birthday. 17, by the way.
Well, I'm 19, so.
This bitch is giving Bella Ramsey a run for her money.
I'm gonna go.
What the fuck is that?
It's not done yet. It's gonna look better.
Leave.
Right.
Did this bitch just look at the camera? Okay, quick digression. Who the fuck was this mutard that helped decorate this fucking room? Okay, computer, Pinkerton, is this it by the Strokes?
So all the teenage shit all at once, huh? Drugs and tattoos and sex, experimenting with girls?
Yeah, you heard that right. Joel in this series, in this episode, is now a bigot fucking sandwich. Just because he is so likable that they had to find a reason to make him unlikable to the general audience. Yeah, this is the same guy who killed like a dozen or so people to try to save Ellie. This is the same guy who pushed Seth to the fucking ground for calling Ellie a dyke. And this is the same guy who didn't give a fuck and was completely accepting of the idea of Ellie and Dina being a thing at the end of The Last of Us Part 2. This is the same guy. He is so likable that they had to turn him into a fucking bigot sandwich. And, of course, the writers weren't intelligent in their writing of Joel's homophobia. So be quiet, listen, and learn, because a chud is in fact speaking right now. If they were intelligent, they would make Joel a more proactive homophobe. Maybe they should have made it to where Joel is kind of worried that her potential genetic lineage ends with her because of her sexuality. Because, I don't know if you guys know this, but Ellie is a genetic phenom. She has some kind of genetic mutation that helps her be immune. Ellie's immunity could be an inheritable trait. Yeah, I know, it's fucking crazy. You know how sickle cell anemia is a inheritable trait in black people because it prevents them from getting malaria? Yeah. But then the Fireflies try to investigate whether or not there's a genetic cause to this. I don't know. Anyways, let's proceed into the least annoying, less bad aspects of this episode. This episode opens up with a flashback when Joel and Tommy were children, and when Tommy got Joel in trouble and Joel protected Tommy, where the wife-beating old man had a call off from his shift to straighten up the two. This scene is very well acted on Joel's dad's behalf, but this entire fucking scene is just such a piss poor way to flesh out Joel's character and to weave this annoyingly see-through tapestry of intergenerational family trauma. Another cyclical cycle of fucking trauma. This entire TV show is basically if Moby Dick and 100 Years of Solitude had a retarded fucking baby. And this episode starts off this way to come full circle, ironically so that Joel repeats the same thing at the very end of the episode. The same thing that his dad told him.
But I'm doing a little better than my father did. And you know, when it's your turn, I hope you do a little better than me.
If you should ever have one of your own. Well then, I hope you do a little better than me.
It is so fucking trite. But there was good acting involved, just not with Bella Ramsey. Joel and Joel's dad and their acting performances were definitely a highlight of this episode. The best part of this episode is, it may come as a shock to you, but it is still fucking chopped. And I am still going to complain relentlessly about it. It is hands down the best scene in The Last of Us Part 2, and it is one of the best scenes in the entire fucking franchise. And I'm, of course, talking about Ellie's 16th birthday at the museum. But holy fuck. It's such a soulless, hollow, unbelievable imitation of arguably one of the best scenes in the entire franchise. It's like as if the directors copied and pasted this episode from the video game, where it retained its file structure, its integrity, but all the information was lost in between the copying and pasting. All the believability, all the emotional rawness, all the emotional viscera is non-existent. But I'm not going to sit here and tell you that the lighting and the camera work and the set designs and the set pieces weren't very, very, very well done. Arguably, this is the most well-produced section of this episode, by far. Also, I'm gonna have to do it. I'm gonna have to fucking do it.
To infinity and beyond!
0. All engine running. Liftoff.
A stranger from the outside.
Anyways, that's The Chopped of Us, episode 6 of season 2, and it is bad. I give it like a 3 out of fucking 10. It is, I don't like it at all. Post in the comments what Bella Ramsey you are feeling like from this image. I would love to know. I think I'm feeling like a 6, to be honest. Anyways, make sure to finger blast a like and subscribe button, and yeah, I'm out of here. Holy fuck.